reconvene the meeting. It is 9:15.
City Council information Spurs up by 4.
All right, thank you.
Only
No
four.
action was
It's
taken,
only 4.
no action was taken in, the closed executive session.
And ask for motions on the,
I can have motions.
I'd like to enter an ordinance here and make a motion on it. I'll read the ordinance. Whereas in accordance with section 22.071 of the Texas Government Code, City Council of the City of China Grove adopt ordinance 110505 in May of 2011. After determining that it was the best interest of the City Council to confer on municipal officers powers and duties of an officer provided by the section referred to above. Whereas the City Council later adopted 130801 in August 2013, amending ordinance 110505, authorizing the mayor to act in the absence of the city administrator. And whereas the City Council now feels it is the best interest of the City Council to amend ordinance 110505 and repeal ordinance 130801, now therefore be it ordained by the City Council of the City of China Grove, Section 1, effective immediately following the adoption of this ordinance by the City Council of the City of China Grove, the City Council hereby repeals ordinance 130801 and amends ordinance 110505 by amending Section 1 and Section 3 to read as follows. Section 1, appointment of city administrator. The city administrator shall be appointed by vote of the City Council. Section 3, duties of the city administrator. The city administrator is responsible for overseeing all the city's operations on a continuous basis and for reporting to the council on behalf of the various departments. The city administrator is responsible for appointment and removal of officers and employees of the city. All administrative actions by the council are taken through the administrator, and any question of the council may have concerning the enforcement of the ordinance or performance of the city programs are directed to the city administrator. I hereby make a motion that we adopt this ordinance.
I'll second it.
We have a motion on the floor to adopt.
Excuse me, are we to have discussion on this? Because I did sign up to discuss this, or this item.
Should have signed. Yeah.
Say yes or no?
Yes.
I can?
Yes.
Okay. Because I know these are being filmed, so I just want to make sure that we all understand what is going on. Because we had a contentious election, and y'all are now in office, and one of the things that y'all ran on was that there were going to be no secrets, this isn't going to be a good old boy thing, and that we were going to be fiscally responsible. So the way I want to do the timeline is, and I noticed that the agenda was posted on the 2nd of June. Ms. Gill resigned on the 3rd. So that has nothing to do with this. Can I ask who brought this motion? Which council person? Who brought the L?
I brought the ordinance in.
You brought the ordinance. So,
Oh,
y'all ran,
We did that.
okay, y'all ran on fiscal responsibility. So my question to you first is, let's see. Is this position currently filled?
No.
And it hasn't been filled for how long?
Well, they have never hired anybody, so it hasn't been filled for a year.
So what is the cost on this position?
Probably, we don't know yet. We have to debate that. I mean, that has to be discussed by council.
If you want to talk money,
Yes, how much?
okay, what the administrator would make would be not in a drop of a bucket to what the attorney makes, which is doing the job now.
It does apples and oranges?
No, it's not.
It is apples and oranges.
No, the attorney's doing that work. He's making the agendas and doing everything.
Okay.
And he's getting paid Yeah, I think it's like $37,000 just for like 11 months. And he makes all the agendas, all the telephone calls, everything.
Okay. The question I have is, because the agenda item right behind it says that you want to appoint this person. So my question is, why are you not advertising this? And why are you not seeking out other people to fill this position?
Because we're in a position right now where we need someone immediately, just as these other people were not advertised, they were just appointed and created positions.
So,
So we are without a secretary, we are
but
without a
you
city
did not know
administrator.
that before you started this.
Oh, I had reasons to think that.
But you did not know that. This was on the agenda before she
That
resigned.
doesn't matter.
My thing is, and I just want to go on record, that y'all ran on a certain platform. And what you are doing is, you are changing this ordinance so that you can hire your friends back again. And that is hypocrisy that is absolutely just mind-boggling, that you would do that.
Just to answer your one question there,
Thank you.
I would like to know your name. Who are you?
I say Kathy Rayleigh, I live on Triplewood.
Kathy.
Rayleigh, R-A-L-E-Y.
Okay.
I was also on there, I'd like to speak also about this agenda item. Mayor, County Council, you changed an ordinance that actually, if you look at it, when the ordinance was before it was changed to start off with, we had a city administrator who we paid $50,000 a year. She had 2 assistants for another $50,000 a year. So you're looking at bringing back that, but
I got
well, we
this
changed
job.
that, if I can please finish before you jump in. Second off, I'd like to point out that when we changed it, there's plenty of talent out there for secretaries who can do whatever it is that you need to be done, that needs to be done. You know, we just didn't have the talent, what we had, Ms. Linda.
Yeah.
Yeah, Gil, thank, let I will admit that. But what I'm saying is that there's plenty of talent out there, and what we're looking at, I heard Mr. Dunk say earlier about fiscal responsibility. Well, here it is for you. And yet you're looking at getting ready to put us back right where we were again. But we have saved the city $50,000 a year by having just the 2 individuals, a secretary and an administrator, not an administrator, but, yes. And so, with those 2, it came out to about $50,000, we saved the city $50,000. So, the last council, we had a profit of $130,000. $50,000 of that was due to us being fiscally responsible. And you're now taking this opportunity now to turn things back again to where they were before. If we add the 25% that we're going to be getting on the sales tax, which would be about $25,000 a year, plus if we would, but it doesn't look like we're going to, continue to have the savings on the administrator for $50,000, that would be $75,000 a year that we could use on streets. You heard a young lady, you heard a lady come out from Ms. Costa come in tonight, and she, even at her age, she's willing to up her taxes so she can have better streets. And yet we're thinking about going back to the old ways of having a city administrator where we're going to just spend our money and spend our money big time. And that's a position that's at $50,000 a year. That's 3 days a week. That's vacation paid, holidays paid. I mean, it's a 4-day weekend. My God. I mean, are we really being fiscally responsible by going back to this? Thank you.
can I correct you on some of that money?
That's okay.
I'll correct him anyway there,
Well, go ahead.
Brother Mayor.
You have a motion and a second, it's,
Got a motion and a second.
I can't hear it.
We have a motion by Alice and a second by Glenn on item L. All those in favor say aye.
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 All those opposed, nay. Can you hear me?
I abstain.
We have 1 abstention, 2 opposed, and 2 nays. And the mayor gets, this is a tie vote. consider and act upon appointment of city administrator.
Mayor Rivers, I would like to make a motion to appoint Susan Conway as our city administrator and secretary, starting immediately.
Second.
As secretary and city administrator.
Yes, sir. I feel she's the most competent person at this time to help us in the situation we're in at this, right now. And has the most experience.
I'll second.
Any other discussion?
I realize that, I feel 29 years' experience, somebody that ran this city is capable of coming back in and picking us up where we left off. And I think the salaries should not be an issue because there's other people out in our smaller cities just like this that make more than Mrs. Conway made back when she was our city administrator years ago, a few years ago. They
And I
make-
have a comment to make. From the figures that I was able to get on what your court administrator and your city secretary are making, the hours they're working, your municipal court judge, your prosecutor, and your attorney, and looking at your court income, all that together, it's costing the city $80,000 more a year to have this group than the ones that left when I did.
Yes, Susan, I
That's a
realize
fact.
that, I
That's a
realize that,
fact.
but we cannot comment.
I know. Well, let me tell you something, you can comment, the law does allow a member of a governing body to comment if it's a statement of fact or to give the city's policy on something. But if you don't know the facts and you don't know the policy, it's probably better not to comment.
Thank you, Ms. Conway. I'll give the council legal advice.
That is just the law, sir, I'm not, I mean, it's, anybody can go look at that. You don't need to be an attorney.
You have a motion and a second.
I have a motion and a second.
Ms. Pollitt, your motion is to appoint her. Did you want to specify salary, any of the
Do we need to do
details?
that tonight?
I think you should.
I would
Otherwise,
like
it
to
could-
start her as a secretary and administrator at $50,000 a year. You just heard what she said.
I sure did.
Okay,
You could pick a board of advice.
Okay, get it under control, I'll shut
You
up.
probably heard what I said.
Okay, you're amending your motion to provide a salary for 50,000, is that correct?
Yes, I think that's under what everyone else in our city area around. I did some research on that figure, and there's secretaries making like $62,000 a year that are not even city administrators. They're secretaries and financial clerks.
And they have benefits.
Okay, and we have,
That's why I came up with that figure.
Second.
on her amendment to that motion?
Yes, sir.
Okay. All those in favor say aye.
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 All those opposed say no. We have 2 ayes and 2 nays and 1 abstention.
And I'd like to know what we're gonna do for a city secretary.
The mayor gets to vote in this matter, and at this time, he votes nay.
Mr. Mayor, what are we gonna do now?
We will probably have a city secretary and city administrator.
Susan wants to apply, and
Advertise
she
it.
will apply, and then everything is above board.
Mayor, the motion failed. Move it to.
Motion failed.
call our,
We need to get as well as some hopes
that's what I'm trying to say, Mike, this is ridiculous.
This is a personal vendetta, and that's okay. I have another job on waiting, so I was gonna get trying
Okay,
to.
don't be so long.
We have, any announcements?
Oh, yes, excuse me. South Grove Lions Club will be having a new officer training seminar here Saturday morning from about 8 to 1. It's for our new incoming officers in various Lions Club. So I just wanted to let y'all know that in case if y'all see a bunch of cars, there could be anywhere from 30 to 35 people coming in. But
Motion for adjournment?
I'd like to make a motion that we adjourn this meeting.
Motion to adjourn the meeting by Kathy, and second by Mike. All those in favor say aye. All opposed? Meeting is adjourned.
They're up.